Welcome to my channel where I attempt to take a Porsche 996 and convert it to a 991 GT3 RS. And if you've been watching this recently, you'll see that I'm getting all the jobs done before it goes to the body shop. I've now got a handful of jobs left. So let's go through the notice board and let's see what's still outstanding. Right, so we are back to the main board. And if we look here, the first one is bonding the air intakes. Can't do that until we get the car back from body shop. Going down, bonding the DRL brackets on the front bumper. Again, post body shop job. And we've got make covers for door mirrors. Haha. Now I can do this job because I've now received the piece of black perspex which I'm going to use to make them with, and we're going to do that on this video. Next one, the wheel liners. So I need to dig the wheel liners out of storage and we can try them and make sure they're fit. Now I've got bar wheels on here. I'm not going to buy the wheels until it comes back from body shop, but what I'm going to do is, if we can get the wheel liners fitted, we can get the wheels back on as well. Then we've got a rolling car that we can use to load up onto the trailer when we need to take it to body shop. And the last two here, we've got seal under the rear arches. So when I did the rear arches, it hasn't fully sealed with the bond that I put on. So I've got some Tiger Seal now, so I can complete that seal to make that watertight. And the last one, remove the door decal. So on the passenger door, the Porsche decal is still there and we need to get that off. Let's get cracking on with those jobs. So my first job is going to be an interesting one. And what I need to do here is take some perspex I bought and make a little triangle shape that's going to fit in over this area here where the mirror used to fit. Now there is a little rubber edge there. So if I can get a piece that just pushes in there and sits inside that rubber edge, I can just bond it on with a bit of bond there and a bit of bond there, stick it on there, and that should be job solved. Now to do this job, I'm going to need at least the minimum parts we see here. So I've got the original mirror, and that gives me the exact shape that I need to make a template with. And I'm going to make a template with cardboard, which I've got here. I'm going to cut out, once I've got the template made, and I'm going to cut out this perspex which I've bought here, which I think is about 3mm, so it's quite tough perspex. It's not the flexible stuff. That's the theory anyway. Practice will tell. So let me start by making a template from the original mirror. And after much faffing about, we've now got a template there which we can use for both sides because we just reverse it. So I'm going to put this on the perspex, and then we need to cut that out. I'm going to cut bigger than the line just to make sure I've got a little bit of excess that I can sand down to make it perfect. Right, let's get cutting. Looking good, but to get this to fit flush, I'm going to have to cut out some of this rubber here, just so that I can sit inside this bit here. So let me get my standing knife and do that. Right, so I need to fit that in at the bottom there. That goes in nicely in the rubber. That will go in nicely in the rubber there. So all I need to do now is get this curve right on the top, and yeah, it should fit in there nicely. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use my belt sander laid here and just run it nicely over the top of that as the sander is running like that to get the angle that I want. Okay, after a bit of back and forth to the belt sander, this now is fitting very nicely, if I can do it one-handed, in here. It actually looks like it fits perfectly up in all the sides, but there's something stopping it from going back. And when I look, I can see that this piece here is a bit proud of that bit there. So I'm just going to get the belt sander, I'm just going to take the edge off that, and that will hopefully make this go flatter. And what do you know, a perfect fit. So once that's bonded in, that's going to fit nicely inside there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to chamfer the edges now, just to make them a bit smoother, so it looks a lot neater and it looks like it's factory. So that has now left a rough edge down here, because you can see all of the marks from the actual file. So the next stage now is to sand it with some high grade sandpaper like 1500, 2000 to try and take away those scratches and make it shiny again on the edges. Right, there we go. So that's fitting really, really nicely now. I'm quite happy with that. And once I bond that in and we bring it in, it's just a bit proud there, look. But once we bond that in and clamp it, it's going to go like that and it's going to fit nicely down those three edges. So I've just got to do the other side now, but I'm not going to bore you with that. I'll get that done and that'll be completed, this job. So let's move on to the next job. Right, next job, I've dug out all of the wheel latch liners here, so let's see how they fit with this new body kit.
Hold me close till I get up. What's left.
Right, so we've just taken the offside front and banged it in, and I've just hooked it on to that bolt there. I've just hooked it over the bolt there, and the bolt there has just come off. So if you look, it's not too bad a fit, I think, with a little bit of trimming, just a little bit of trimming off this actual wheel arch liner. It will fit under the edge of my new wing here. Now we're going to lose it down here. See this here? We've got a bit of a gap, but we'll make that up with a bit of sort of rubber or something that we can find, and we should be able to make that gap up. So I'm almost fitted correctly. I just had to do a little bit of manipulation, heating it up and just bending it around. The back ones kind of fitted on pretty well, but they just needed a little bit shaving off them to make them fit right up to the edge. Now with the front ones, I'm missing these two pieces here. So I'm going to go off onto eBay and I'm going to have a look, see if I can get those parts, but those can be fitted after I've got the car back from body shop. And on to the next job, which will be a quickie, and it's to fill under the wheel arch liner with Tiger Seal. So that's all nicely sealed now. On to the next job. And the next job, I'm going to be using this, which is a little wheel that's going to allow you to remove transfers and stickers off door panels using just your drill. Let's give it a go. Right, so what we'll do now, we'll get some isopropyl alcohol and just see if we can now remove the rest of that goo that's on there. And there she blows, so just a last bit there with a bit of isopropyl. And sweet. And the next job is I'm going to remove these mirrors there so that the body shop can have an easy job of painting the door. Saves on that money, saves me a bit of labour time. Let's get these off. And as we've took the mirrors off, we may as well take the door handles off. Again, saving labour at the body shop.
Here we go.
We're down here now, so this is the I need to undo that plug there to get this out, which is to connect it to this micro switch, so the car knows when you've actually opened the door, and then that'll allow the windows to drop. So let me see if I can get my amazing hands in there. How the hell am I going to put that back in? Oh. Now that is ridiculous to get a handle out. What a job and a half that is, but she's out, so we'll bang that in the pile of stuff to go to Rudy to be painted. And this one is even harder because you've got the door lock on this side as well, which makes it a lot more fiddly than the other side. Anyway, we've got those off. I will certainly be masking this door up when I come to refit this, because this is going to be a pain in the backside. That's a long way off. That's another job done. On to the next job. And the next job is, well, look, I've taped it up. That's clever of me, isn't it? So I don't get loads of mastic and sticky stuff on there. So I've taped the Porsche badge up, but the next job is we need to fit this. Now, if we look at the bonnet itself, on top, there is no guiding holes or anything there. Oh, there is actually. Oh, I stand corrected. I am looking very closely now. We've got this light. Can you see those, Dave? See those little indentations?
Just.
Yeah.
Just.
So they should match up with those, which they do. So we do have the guiding holes for the actual drill. So let's get the drill and we'll drill those. I'm going to start with a fairly small drill. So now those holes are drilled, I'm going to just see if this fits as it is. They've got a very, very small thread on these, so I'm hoping that they will actually go through those holes. Let me just go get a spanner to undo these because they're pretty tight on there. Right, so I can see that these will go in there and fit, but I'm not even going to attempt it because knowing my luck, I'll lose one and they'll go inside the fiberglass and I'll never get them out. But as far as I'm concerned, that is job done. That badge is in place and ready for when it comes back from the body shop. On to the next job. Right, so the next job is going to be fitting this, which is the under tray for the front bumper. And this is a solid piece of kit, this is. But I've just got to work out how this fits and what it's going to look like. So let's get under the car at the front and get this fitted. Right then, Dave, if you can lift up that bit there. And I think if we slot the front in first, maybe. Oh, I think you might see if you can get your side in. There we go, yeah. Yeah, you're in. Can I go in? It's looking good. I'm kind of nearly. Hang on, a bit further forward. Whoa! Hey, yeah, that's tight as hell. That's beautiful. I think the screws are pushing it in the middle as well.
These are not lining up though, these.
Oh, of course we can see in here, can't we? Oh yeah, that's all right. It comes this way, innit? There you go. And then we can come back a bit. That is lining up lovely. This is the top of the under tray, and this is the original frunk. And here you can see there's 3 mounting bolts where I'm assuming the original under tray used to mount to. So this has got lumps there to mount to them. So that's really good. We can cut holes in this to make that fit. Yeah, so also just inside, there's another fitting just in there, that end of the frame that holds the radiators in. So we can also get to that. There is another bolt just under here. There is no marking on this under tray for that, so I might not bother with that one. But I think there, these 3 along here and the one at the far side will be enough. So let me get a marker pen and we'll mark them holes, and then we can take it off, drill it, and then we can see if we can fit this nicely. And she's on, so she's mounted there on those 3 bits that are at the bottom of the frunk. We've got a screw in the corner over there, screw in the corner down here. Now what I am going to do is I'm just going to put a fixing through there so I can hold the front of this bumper tightly against this tray, and I think I'm going to put a couple just along the front here just to stop any flapping. And again, I won't bore you with that. That's an easy job for me to do, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So this is it, the last job on this car before body shop, and that is to remove these wheel arch liners, get these wheels back on and get it off those axle stands. Let's go. Right, wheel arch liners off, so now let's get these wheels back on. Now I need the special tool for putting wheels like this back on a Porsche. And here's one of these, which is a locating pin. So you screw this into one of your wheel bolt threads like that. Now you can easily just lift the wheel on to that locator and slide her into position, like so. Wheels on, last job now. Let's get these axle stands off and put this car back on the ground. Right, so the way you can do this easy on the Porsche, because obviously the axle stands are on the lifting points, so I'm going to actually lift this from its rear axle. I couldn't get the jack out, so what I'm going to put a piece of wood under the wheel there, then we'll lower it down, hopefully I can get the jack out, and then I can jack it up from its normal jacking point to then remove that piece of wood. Yes. Kick that bit of wood out. Down she goes. Just check these out, Dave. Look at these. Look how deep these wheels are. Yeah, that just shows how far out, how much wheel we need to bring that a long way out to actually get level. To actually get level with the rear quarter, which is going to be here now. So we'd need about a 4-inch spacer, 5-inch spacer, which I ain't going to do. I'm going to get some special wheels which have got the right offset to bring this as far out as I can without putting spacers on. I may need a smaller spacer, but hopefully I'll get wheels that I don't need spacers on. But that's at a later day, that's when it comes back from body shop. And that's it. As far as I'm concerned now, or as far as you're concerned, this car is now complete and ready for the body shop. That to me is a few weeks time, and the car's probably going to be away about 6 weeks. So my baby's almost ready. We'll get some body shop video as well. That'll probably be the next video. And then we can do a colour reveal, because I'm not telling you what colour I've chosen just yet, but we'll see that when we get it back from the body shop. But that's it for this one now. So thanks for watching. If you did enjoy this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. I've got some great videos planned for the future, some really interesting projects you might want to watch and you might want to need to stay subscribed. But if you like this, give it a thumbs up. And once more, thanks for watching. Until the next time, stay safe.